Let's take a look at the sites where James and Carmella Grider live. They live with a forest right on their doorstep, so let's take a look at what their forest looks like. I walked out onto one of the streets near there and stood on there, recording a video of the forest. As you can see, the forest is just a dense wall of trees. Houses stand right opposite from the forest on this street. What makes it great is at night you can scamper out of the forest, do something nasty, then scamper right back into the forest. The forest looks pitch black inside those trees. Look at the black hole in the forest. You run out of the black hole in the trees at night, do something nasty, like throw a rock, then scamper back into the black hole. So much fun. By contrast, look at where I live. There is no forest whatsoever. If a person were to do something and run, they would literally be exposed for an entire mile, unless they lie down in the bushes. I've spent several years walking the dog only in darkness, because I didn't want people seeing what a loser I am, walking around alone. So I'd do it under the cover of darkness. When it's hot in the summer, it's impossible to go for a walk during the day. You will hardly find any spots of shade, and they are minuscule, and riding a bicycle is impossible, so I get stuck indoors. I have to go behind a hill an hour or two before sunset, because then the sun is at an angle, and the hill's shadow protects me from sunlight. On the other hand, trees like this would protect me from sunlight at all times of day. Not to mention the climate is so chilly that heat from the sun would never be a problem. Look what other fun things James and Carmella have near them. They have creeks like this and rivers that they could play around. They could throw trash in the river and watch it float away, or have their dog swim in the river. It was nice for me to visit all these places and actually take videos of the scenery so I can share it with you. They also have salt marshes where they could pick up oysters from the mud, I guess. And there is an abandoned railroad bridge. They can go onto a rusted derelict railroad bridge and I guess make a video about it. Here they have some abandoned railroad tracks they could play on. There is shade everywhere. Another thing is the cool weather allows James Grider to bundle up, so if he wears a baseball cap with a hood to conceal his face from security cameras and such, he doesn't look out of place doing so. You can't really walk around with a jacket in 100-degree weather in a place like this with a hood up. However, there is a trade-off. They have to contend with mold growing in their house because of all the moisture and lack of vitamin D, because for weeks the sun disappears behind overcast. A severely depressed person like me could commit suicide because of a lack of vitamin D. See, you got these buildings with nice blank white walls. In the 1980s there would be gang graffiti on all these walls, but now they have security cameras they mount in the corners that watch the flanks of the building. I prefer a place that looks like shit because it's amusing to look at it. Clean stuff looks fucking boring. Taggers shitting all over those buildings all over those buildings' walls every night. That would be funny to see. People say having lots of homeless around is a bad thing. But where Carmella and James are, the place is infested with homeless. So if James strolls down a city street in the middle of the night on a mission to do something nasty, all he has to do is put on a baggy coat, put the hood up, and walk with his head down slowly, and he won't draw any attention. Whoever looks at him will think he's just some bundled up bum wandering about like 1,000 other bums. See, you want to do shady, questionable things? If you want to do shady, questionable things, stay in cold environments, so you have an excuse to wear clothes that will obscure your face, and exploit bad weather like fog and snow and rain as cover to your advantage. See, I need to have multiple houses in various biomes, so I can move from one to another depending on how I feel. And whether I get that or not really hinges on whether I get that or not really hinges on the YouTube's Little Squeakers community, and right now the Squeakers are denying me everything. I also flew to Youngstown, Ohio, and I stood in front of El Presador's house for a few minutes. I had the camera running, thinking maybe he'll walk out, but he never walked out. I don't know if he was home or not. Maybe I didn't get the right house even, I don't know. See, I don't get, why is there a tree growing here, a tree growing over there, and then the same tree growing over there? But the rest of it doesn't have these trees growing. Why aren't they growing? Why aren't they covering the whole fucking area? So we can have a forest instead of... Why would a tree grow there, but it can't spread anywhere else? Right now it looks like the place where James Grider lives every fucking day. The sky looks like this every fucking day where James Grider lives. This shit dries out, and then you can't walk through it anymore. It dries out, it sticks to your socks, it sticks to you, it pokes you, and you can't walk through there anymore. This wouldn't happen in a rainforest.